We'll show you what's real, not just the hype. Scarlet views and engine moves. We teach you more than just photos. Tools from the basics up. Hi, hi. More love of cause you ain't seen nothing yet. We didn't learn it. Drive it up. This is more than just machines. It's the love, the life, the dream. For the love of cause Uganda we roll. From dusty road to busy patrol. With these tips we break it down. Helping every dollar in the town. For the love, for the love, for the love of cause Uganda. Hi guys, how you doing today? Jones Info, motion by Benji, Yusuf Minash, Nuwaha Noman, Ricky Chikawa, Richard Wanga. How are you, my people? Today I have a situation that is not out of the blue. Someone here has been contacting me, and eventually I said, okay, let's see what you're saying. And so we were chatting, yeah, and he said he is confused. Hi Alex, how are you? He is confused. He is in a dilemma. Since I seatbelt, very. What happened? Since I seatbelt, I live very. Even 500 mils of water can actually get it. So anyway, he said he's confused. Cos Masagaba, how are you? How did you guys go to church? You should go to church every Sunday to thank the Almighty, first because you're alive, but also to thank the Almighty that you have the energy. You have some people don't have the energy, but also to thank the Almighty that you guys have been able to earn what you have been able to earn. Yeah. So hi Balukudembe Obulanyo. So we are handling a situation, and I want us to advise our brother here from your experience, because if I advised him alone in my experience, maybe it would not make as much sense as when a lot of you guys actually advise him. So he's in a dilemma. He has 15 million shillings. He works in Kampala, okay? And he has a plot of land in Mukono. 15 million, he has a job, he has a plot of land. So I think he has wanted to buy a car for some time. But because in my inbox, I even have, hi Charles, how are you? He has, in my inbox, I have him actually asking me what car he can get for between 12 and 13 million. So I know he has wanted to buy a car for some time, yeah? Hi, Christine. But now, today he came to me. You know, normally when you text me and you're asking me about cars and you have not paid consultation, I don't answer you. That's just how I do. So I've not been answering for some time, until he texted me and said, Arthur, I need to talk to you. So when he told me he needs to talk to me, for me that was a cue. I said, okay, let's see what you have to say. And he said, Arthur, I'm confused. I'm confused with the decision of whether to buy a car or build a house. Okay? Hi, Morris. So the confusion is, should I, so that's the engine going on, Julie, eh? So I've used up the battery a lot today. So the decision for him, he's asking himself, should I buy a car and still continue renting in Kampala near my workplace? Or should I build my house in Mukono deep and I stop renting? So guys, I want you to advise. He's a young man. He's in his 20s. So that's the dilemma. Everyone keeps saying a car is a liability, and then there are so many people now that are saying a house is a liability. So, and with the talk that is going around, you'd actually think, Arthur, sisubira nti waliwo omuntu kati ali confused with in regards to whether to build or whether to build or buy a car. I don't think anyone is confused, but there are people that are actually still confused with the decision. So when he texted me that, I asked him why he's confused, and it looks like it's simple. Yeah, it looks like it's simple, but it's actually not. So I told him, you know what, I'm going to talk about this on a broadcast, and a lot of other people will actually advise you. So guys, what would you tell a young man to do? He's in his 20s. He has his 15 million at the plot of land in Mukono. Now, what he has not told me how deep Mukono is, because he says he can buy a car and continue renting 12 kilometers from his workplace, or he can build his house and stop renting. So he needs advice to know what exactly to do. Proverbs 24 to 27, I think. Prepare your outside work. Make it fit for yourself in the field, and afterward build your house. Ah, Alex. Alex, do I have a Bible up here? I don't think I have a Bible up. Let me look for the verse. Proverbs 24. Proverbs 24 in the King James Version. Ngati bilala. Why? Totwadde verse info. Yeah, 24, 27. Eh? Prepare thy work without, and make it fit for thyself in the field, and afterwards build thine house. Mukawulidde akantu. Prepare thy work without, katika work without katika ukaji, and make it fit for thyself in the field, and afterwards build thine house. Be not witness against thy neighbor without cause, and deceive not with thy lips. Okay, 27, I think. High Chris Fitness, money temperature, build and stop renting. Okay, I know his name, but I've not seen him here. I think Ali Kamori. So I hope you are watching, and I hope you're reading the advices. Joseph Bali Kudembe saying 15 million cannot build a house. Does he have a job? Yes, Chris Fitness, he has a job. Richard Wanga Gamba, let him buy a car first. Alex is saying, let him first buy a car. It will ease his work and build later. I think, Charles, it's a personal challenge on your end. Network very stable. So guys, for the people that have just joined the broadcast, we have a brother here. He has a challenge. He has a plot of land in Mukono. He has 15 million shillings in cash. He has a job in Kampala. So for him, the challenge, let me put a cue here. Let me do this. No, not that. Paul. Okay, guys, our brother here, he's armed with 15 million shillings at the plot of land in Mukono. He says he's still renting now, like 12 kilometers from work. So he's torn between buying a car or building a house and stopping to rent. When he buys the car, he'll continue renting 12 kilometers from work. He needs your advice. What would you advise him? Mudemu mumwe ku magezi bannange. So guys, as you also comment, I've also put up a poll which I know he will be following. And my question is, what would you use 15 million for if you already have a plot in Mukono? You build a house and stop renting, to buy a car and be nearer work, grow the money for another year. I've put that third one there. He did not give it as an option, but I've put it there because it's also an option of probably fixing the money where you can get a 10% on the money still, because I think they give you 10% per annum. So guys, tumwe kumagezi, I have models here that I'm going to introduce to you guys. I've been reading as well. I find that sometimes the decision for me, when I had like 15 million to build, I already had a house, so I had to sell the smaller house. I had no option. Like I really thought about it when nalinga sina vakasangat, because the environment nalingi koye kasangat, and I wanted the better neighborhood. I wanted the neighborhood that challenged me, a neighborhood with neighbors that were not nosy, that wasn't really fixed, and I didn't call it ghetto. So I wanted to move. And then I thought to myself, should I go to an apartment? But for me, it wasn't really a choice. Like there are people that I never tosobora kupangisa batabimanyi. Nga ne bwaba sente azine ezipangisa nga okupangisa kujye kumumarako emirembe. Nyina y'abantu bemanyi bwe batyo. Nga they would rather actually be in their own home, yeah? There are people like that. So guys, let's advise gentleman. Does he really need a car? That's another question, Chris Fitness. That's another question. That's a very good question. I did not ask him because I am pro cars. Nze ndi muntu wa kugula moroka. Ndi muntu wa encouraging abantu okugula moroka. So that question did not really come to my mind. But yes, that's a good question. I don't know if he's here. That's a question he would have to ask himself. That's a question he would have to ask himself, yeah? Buy a car, continue renting, raise money, buy more plots. Better buy a car because a nyumba tegenda kugwa. Let him buy a car, then asonde ezokuzimba. 15 million can set something habitable. Thank you, Jovan. 15 million can. Nze nabaga nayingira nyumba yanga nzimbisize million nyeka sanga tinze. Atenga mbabuli ajingide nga naba kanso bajja ne bawamba ku bintu awo ntubawayo twabaye mitwalo bakumi. Kati gwe muntu azimbye nyumba ye million nye mitwalo 10 juu abakanso jiba mingi. Okitegeera. So guys, let's advise our brother. The situation is here. He already has a plot of land in Mukono. Yeah. He has 15 million shillings and he either has to buy a car or wants to buy a car and continue renting nearer home, or the other thing he could do is build a house in his plot in Mukono and see what happens. I would buy a car first. That is Morris. John Prosperix is saying, let him buy a car as he continues to save for more plots. let us sell one of the plots to build. Yes. Mpanga Godfrey, hi. Nwaha Noma, let him first build. Then he can get a loan to buy a car and use the money he's paying rent to facilitate the loan. Okay. But can his monthly income sustain a Benz? Yeah. I recently learned that the reason why Africa didn't revolutionize economically for many centuries was lack of horses. Other continents used them to trade and develop as they could go longer distances. By horses, you mean cars. Let us remember that 15 million won't be able to complete the house. Yes. But also, Ricky, I would like to add to remind you that majority of people in Uganda live in incomplete houses. It's just a few people that have a high net worth, or people that can access big loans, or people that are in government and they steal a bit of money that can actually move into a complete house. Majority of Ugandans that have moved into their own houses have moved into incomplete houses. Most people that I know. At least bwabanga agitayirinze nga agisize no gisiga plumbing abatawedde. Okitegeera kitchen ebatewedde. Wardrobe at least zibate zirimu. I don't know if you get at least amasanyaze gabate galimu. At least fence ne compound bibate biwedde. You get at least agatugira tuyingira ntira toyiye bweru yamazi tunagikola emya later. Like a lot of people have entered houses in that condition. And I think it's not until you actually enter a house like that that you know. I dropped the wallet vibe. I'm going to drop it. Hi, Starch. How are you? Let him build first. Let him build first. But he might build a house and still need a car for easy transportation, which will be hard for him. That's also something to consider. He has not reached the level to own a car. He should give himself extra year or two. He should focus on accumulating more money in this moment in time. Okay. How do we know that someone is ready to own a car, Chris Fitness? Chris, how do we know that someone is ready to own a car? Because for me, I believe that you are never truly ready to own a car. Right? Why? Because nebobo ina milioni atano. Katugambo ina milioni 10. Nogula ko Range Rover ya 7 oba 8. Abiri Range Rover gali ya mwaka gumu nizikendera. And before you know it, people will start saying yaita natuka kugula moroka. Okitegeera. Start saying let him build first if rent has become a problem. But if he has a business already, let him invest more or buy a car, help him do business, as he saves much more to build Mpora Mpora. Hi, Aishuka Blair. The situation in Modiro in the sitting room. Guys, you're 33. Let's get 33 votes in the poll. Kakakahwa itukora baku screen you. Just click in what you think is right. What would you use 15 million for if you already have a plot in Mukono? Remember, this gentleman works in Kampala. He's renting. So he has 15 million. He feels he should spend it on something. And there are two options. Either he builds a house, and I'm saying a house because 15 million doesn't build a full house, yeah? Build a house in his plot in Mukono, or buy a car and continue renting near his workplace because he has a job. Mr. Chris, the right time to buy a car is when you have money to buy it. Now, guys, TikTok naga is gonna kudamu kogera ku boda. So I'm not going to talk about borders again. Now, when I'm referring to something that is close to that, I'll be saying motorcycles. Yeah. I realize those guys have avuga pitches are easily commercial. They're very, very rational. They are not rational at all. And I totally understand them. So, guys, in the past 1 week alone, I've read stories of 2 people that died on borders. So I'm not supposed to say that. 2 people that died in motorcycle accidents. Past 2 weeks alone. Now, this might mean a motorcycle that you have taken, that you have paid to take you somewhere, or a motorcycle that you're driving yourself. 2 people that I've seen, that I've read of. Hi, Momo. Thank you very much. You get 2 people in the past 1 week alone. And these 2 people that we have heard of, I've heard of them either because they are prominent or because a friend of theirs is in my circles, either online or offline, and I could read about them. That does not mean there are no people that have died in car accidents. But you see, almost every car accident that happens, we know about it. But there are so many motorcycle accidents that happen that we don't know that they. Now someone is going to ask, Arthur, why don't you want to say that word? Well, we sat down with some members of my team and they said, you know what, Arthur, I think we should stop talking about that because there are too many and they're irrational. They could just literally just attack you out of nowhere because you're saying things that they think should not be said out. So I just decided that, you know what, let's just skip talking about them. Even when you're doing the weekly roundup, we see accidents where they are related, they have been, they're involved. We'll skip that news piece. Let's cover other things. So it's very hard to ignore that. So I'll be on YouTube, I'll try to ignore that and instead say motorcycle. On TikTok, I'll never say that. Not even motorcycle. Because when you say motorcycle, they know. So guys, I personally know someone who comes from Lugazi, Zirowe to Kampala every day. Mukono, he's even lucky. Let him build. Thank you, Jovan. Mr. Alex, the question is, the big question is, when is the right time to buy a car? That's a question, guys. How do you know that someone is ready to buy a car? So when is the right time to buy a car? Jovan, me, I know people coming as far as Nabingo, Sanji, and PG as well. They drive every day to work. I remember for us in events, it's not every day that you can imagine. So, Charles Sebaduka, but someone asks just to validate their thoughts. I believe that guy wholeheartedly desires to buy a car. Yes, I know. That's why they're asking Arthur. You get? So point is, which car suits the budget? No, Charles. It's not about which car suits the budget yet. And I'm going to try to give my opinion later. I'm sure he wanted my opinion, but I wanted to bring it here so that he reads opinions from a lot of other people, because situation eno jalimu abantu banji bajibaddemu. Nze sijibanga mukko. Guys, I've never been in a situation where I have to choose between a house and a car. I have never. Me, I've never. So, Arthur, in the year 2000, before Mr. Charles Peter Maiga was PM of Uganda, he stayed in an incomplete house under construction in Rweza while driving. Thank you, Ngabirano Eric. A lot of people enter their houses incomplete. It's just that I think this is where the issue of this is where housewarming came from, yeah? Until people started doing housewarming. Let me just shift this a little. So I bought a new phone holder and I love it. It was more expensive than the ones I buy, but it's better. The issue of housewarming, I think, came from there because people sort of like struggled a lot through the house building, so they needed their community or their friends to see that, you know what, this is how far we've come. Starch, life is all about being happy. To me, I'll buy it so long as I get the money. Olaba, I already acquired driving license. Na isi dina moroka. Ojaji funa Alex. Murinyariani. Ya yes obedia Allah. The right time is when you need it. You are ready to own a car if you have some extra disposable income. You can't use all your savings for buying a car, which you may actually not need right now, since you can rent closer to a workplace. Oh, fuck. Hey guys, I have trouble with the microphone, yeah? That's why I had to buy another set of microphone. And I lost one set. I lost a set of microphones. I had 2 sets. Oh, wait the moon. I lost 1 set of microphones. So this one kind of disturbs me. Those are moving the go and like moving a receiver. Category even better than me, because me, I don't even have a license yet, but automatically the moment I return, okay. The focus now should be on accumulating more savings. The guys, as we talk about accumulating savings, guys, vote, go vote. So far, 59% are saying buy a car and be nearer work. 27% are saying grow the money for another year. And then 14% are saying build a house and stop renting. Guys, I want to remind you. I want to remind you guys about the number of accidents that happen to people that travel on motorcycles every day. There is something I read on X yesterday that Kampala has about 4 million people, but the same city has about 2 million motorcycles. 2 million motorcycles, a population of 4 million people. Mark you, the 4 million people also, there is like 500 or 200,000 that have cars. So, and then there are taxis as well, and then there are buses as well, and then there are trucks as well. You get. However, if I were to rent, for example, nzisinga nali wakupangisa, ulabe wali ofisi yange, nandibadde saagala na kusala kkubo, nandibadde nga bwe mba nkolera wano, njagala mbeere wano nga neetoolola bwetoolozi nti nentuuka ku mulimu, singa nali wakupangisa at this time. I used to see people say that abayindi, the Indians overcalculate, that they don't buy cars. The Indians used to live on the same building they are working on, so they don't need a car. But the Indians of this generation have monster cars. Have you seen them? They are driving Land Cruisers. They are driving Range Rovers. You get it? Because now I think they can own houses. They found a loophole in the law to allow them own houses in Kampala. But also there are also those Indians that have built big buildings. Below, at the bottom floors, they have their shops and businesses, and the top floors, that's where they live. So I think if I were to rent, that would be the arrangement I have. Then I would not need a car. Because when we think about visiting, how many people actually visit? Arthur, as for priorities, building in Mukono, 15 million starts a foundation shell. A car is a liability. Home eventually eliminates rent. Build fast, commute for now. Wait, Momo is saying something that is that is interesting. Arthur, okay, Aganda 15 million starts a foundation or a shell. 15 million more, 15 million gets me in the house and I live there. Hey, a car is a liability. A home eventually eliminates rent. It with 15 million, guys. With 15 million, you can eliminate rent. Atenga muvubuka mutota inabana. He already knows that Arthur is a car addict, so he can't give a neutral point of view. Charles, come on. I'm giving a neutral point of view. And by the way, at the end of the broadcast, you're going to realize that I'm very neutral. I was talking to someone, Gabaga, ne Arthur Rachigwe, Bowa mageze kumoro katomarayo, okomao. Aniono. Nga there is an option who have work where we cannot afford using a car. What do you mean you can't afford using a car? Ngamukama wanyiga. Ngamukama wanyiga, Patrick. $50 million can get me a car automatically. I will buy a car. Help me accumulate more as I think. Okay, guys, let me go through some of the theories I also learned today. I don't know if they're actual theories but I went through these theories and I found that if you're watching my brother, I want to go through these theories and then probably I can also give. But guys, keep giving him advice. He's watching. I told him, so he knows we are here talking about him. I told him I want to talk about this on the broadcast. Yeah. Now, Charles, I give a balanced opinion because for starters, sisobola bigere naye ate n'okupangisa kati wendi sikusobola. Ndabika nali madam, in this day and age, a car is important. Maurice Atoms. Guys, useful decision-making models. One, we have a need versus wants matrix. I think that's like basic. You ask yourself, what do you need now? You ask yourself, what do you want now? Yeah. You ask yourself, what can wait? You ask yourself, what brings long-term value? So, I've not made a decision, but I've told him, you ask yourself, what do you need? What do you want? What can wait? What brings your long-term value? Because long-term is important for us as men. Opportunity cost analysis. This is opportunity cost. We all know opportunity cost. So if you choose the house, what are you giving up? If you choose the car, what are you giving up? Osegera. So the thing is with opportunity cost, if you choose to build a house and not have a car, what are you giving up? Let me give what I think. So if he chooses to use all the 15 million to build a house, if he chooses to use all the 15 million to build a house and he has no car, and Maki with 15 million he can enter, and no car, what is he giving up? One, he has to move to Mukono. Two, he won't have a car. Three, he'll have to commute every day. So he has to find a way to bridge the gap. And of course, three, he's going to be stuck on borders because sometimes you'll be late, you have to take a border. That will put his life at risk. See? Now, if he doesn't build a house and he buys a car, the real question for me now is going to be, what cars do I get with 15 million shillings? And if I'm buying a car because I've decided not to buy a house, to build a house, is the car going to be a cost center or a profit center? Because that's another thing. Am I just going to be spending money on the car, or am I actually going to use the car to make me money? Because that's a very good question. So then that's a very important question. Then also the other question he should ask himself is, what car do I want? Because that's also important. So you decided, I need a car, so I'm going to buy a car. But what car do I want? Now, once you ask yourself of the question of what car do I want, then you're going to ask yourself, can I afford the car I want? Because that's also another thing. If you can't afford the car you want, then it means 15 million might not be able to help you either with the car or the house. So opportunity cost. Then there is the other one, the long term versus short term. So let's just rate the choices. Which one gives us long term stability? Which one gives us short term convenience? Which one gives us financial security? What are our lifestyle goals? And then how much risk is in each of them? What's the risk in the house? None. What's the risk in a car? A lot. You could be driving a car, all of a sudden mukubo. Emoroka bwefira mukubo bamakanika bali ya sente empitirivu. Kuba bafuuse breakdown. Bwogula emoroka 3 months later nefa engine. Netaliko butakyusa gear. That's money that is going out. So then we go back to the question of, what kind of car does my 15 million shillings get me? And am I comfortable with those cars? Do I think that with 15 million shillings, if I get that car, it will not disturb me at all? You get? That's the thing. Of course, and then we go back to Maurice Atom saying a car is important. So let's use this one. There is also a future self scenario. Future self. So you have to picture yourself 2, 5, 10 years from now, and then think about which decision supports the version of yourself that you want. 10 years from now, which decision is supporting the version that you want to be? Let's say, for example, 10 years from now, you want your house to be complete. If you start with the 15 million and start building the house now, do you picture yourself in a complete house 10 years from now? Let's go to the other side of the car. If you're going to buy a car, we are with the future self scenario. If we decide to buy a car 10 years from now, are you still driving the same car, or does the car help you get a better car, the future self? So it helps you get to the decision that you want, because it's only you who knows what you want to be 10 years from now, not me, not anyone on the broadcast. So those are the models that I thought. Also, guys, now I've just started thinking, you guys are on X. Have you seen this thing? I don't know if it has spread on TikTok, or I don't know if you guys follow Emeka on YouTube. He had this cooked story. I just thought it's cooked. It can't be real. The cooked story of the woman. Let's talk about that tomorrow, though. Guys, tuwegayo na amagezi. Nze ngenda bagamba kyendowooza ku kintu ekyo. And of course, you guys normally think I'm biased. I'm going to be advising people to buy cars all the time. You guys don't know how many people I tell to go back and collect more money. Senga nali addict. Nandi badenga senza I would be inspecting cars every day. Because I think on average, I receive about 3 phone calls of people that want me to inspect. Then I tell them to send a consultation. Then I ask questions. And about 2 out of the 3 phone calls I receive, I tell them to collect more money. So Charles, I'm not as biased as you think. Wafula, if he already has a stable permanent job, then buying a car first would be a bad choice. If he doesn't have a stable job, then a car would not be a good choice, except a good choice unless for Uber. Or Wafula Chagambi. So my brother, are you watching? I can't read text. I would actually tell you to text me on WhatsApp and we see what you think. Do I have the number of this thing? I don't know. I hope you're watching and you're following what people are saying. Buying a car these days is not as simple, especially for people that are focused on making their lives better. Buying a car is not a decision that is as simple as oh, let me go and buy a car. The question of whether you actually need the car is very important. Start at least with you. The car is going to aid your business. It's understandable. So apparently, according to Wafula, a car is not a good decision on all angles. So James, Wafula, are you saying that he should just build whatever house he can build? Guys, there is another option that we have not thought about that I would never want to think about. The option of this gentleman buying a motorcycle. And because like Spyro sells their motorcycles at like 3.8. Right? Now hear me out. I would actually consider doing this. I would consider doing this. I have 15 million shillings. Edda pitch zabangaza bikuba zabangaza million 5 kinana. Atobaza million musanvu. So I would buy a Spyro with 3.8. Yeah. Anti Chris mpuliriza. Togamba nonga tonna mpuliriza. Olaba omuntu ono ettaka liri mukono. Now, teriri mukono mu town, obviously. Ayingirako munda, mukono is wide. Ayinzo bali eri kyabakadde is mukono. Ayinzo bali namaliri. You get, there are so many places that it could be. Charles, muleke mumpulirize. This is me, I would consider it. Guys, have you hit rock bottom before? Because this is something that, have you hit rock bottom before? Have you hit rock bottom before? Kati me, I have hit rock bottom before. So this is what I would actually consider, and I would try to be as careful as possible. I have 15 million shillings on my plot in Mukono. Corona 190 is not at, it's about 5 million. That's also something to consider, but I'm going to tell you, Charles, Now, I have a bunch of options that I would actually consider. This is one of the options. One, I'd buy a spiral bike at 3.8. Use the balance to build a house that I can build to completion, not completion, at least to 80%, and enter. Mukama Patrick, actually spiral will save him something, because for someone that is not commercial, he will be saving a bit. Now, me, when I look at spiral bikes, I don't look at them in terms of reliability of fuel and stuff. I look at them in terms of those bikes actually don't even need maintenance. You get it? Don't even need maintenance. Electric things, they are like toy cars. Maintenance internal. So this is one of the options I'd consider. I'll never consider buying a bike at more than 5 million. I would not. And an old bike, I've also seen people struggle with old bikes. So I'd actually consider buying a spiral. Nze nga Arthur. I'll use the balance to put up a structure that I can enter as a young man, because I did this, and me, when I did it, I already had a car. So it did not apply to me. I would enter that thing, and I don't know how much he earns, but the fact that he could be able to collect 15 million shillings and thinks he can own, he can manage a car, he has a good job. So I'll do the spiral for about 7 months, stay in my structure that I built, upgrade from the spiral to a car. By the time I upgrade from a spiral to a car, the spiral will be probably 1 million or 1.2 million in value. You get. But the money I would have saved from the spiral, you get, I would use it, yeah. I would use it to buy a car. I am predicting that in the next couple of months, there are cars that are actually going to lose some value, like the Vista Adeo. The Vitz will never lose value. It will always stay 10 million, 9 million, 11 million, 12. So it never lose. So I'm looking at cars that we can probably get at 8. Yeah. And they are not as fuel consuming, but they are also reliable. You get. Probably consider a Primo that has a 1.5 liter engine, a Chikumi. That will cost me about 7 million or 8 million. However, if I can buy it at 5 and use the other money to do, but that's like 6 months from now. That's one of the options I would do. I would settle in my house, have a means of transport. Option two, because nzenga Arthur Wendy one way, okupangisa tekuli sustainable nnyo e Uganda. Okujja kongo ofuna sente nyingi, you can save a bunch of money that can help you survive rent. Ochitegera, in case, because in Uganda there is literally no job security. Okujja kongo okola mu government. You get. Be smart. 15 million finishes a small livable house in Mukono immediately. A car drains money daily. A home saves you rent money forever. Secure your roof first. Thank you, Momo. Thanks for the word of encouragement. You know, times I used to think to Obanko answer because my mom was like, Wanag, my son, what about you built up rentals first? Do you know events? Charles Evaduka, we have got a transparent voting system. Let's go. Guys, you vote. But I've given you one of the things I would actually think of doing. Now, I told my mom to definitely I'll do what my heart tells me. Events is really my real calling. Even a fuel motorbike, when not commercial, it's too cheap. But the problem is about Spyro is wastage when waiting for batteries at swap stations. Hi, Edwin Kagwa. So guys, I've told you the first option I would do. In all my options, I will build a house. Okay. Okay. What's that? What's that? What is it saying? Okay, I've pressed a button. I've pressed a button by mistake. So guys, we are advising a brother of ours here. Arthur, as me avoid Spyro. The swapping system is a trap. You often trade a dead battery for a half-charged one. Are you sure? For me, I look at the Spirosis, but they have these chargers. I don't know if they don't work. They have chargers that they are selling right now. So I'd actually buy a charger if I could and charge from home or charge from a neighbor's place. Now, the motorcycle is dangerous. So this is my second option. This is the second thing I would consider doing. And guys, in all the options I have, I will build a house. Change is building a house without a stable income, and then buy after you turn your house into a kindergarten. Jesse banange Jesse tayagala bya kuzimba. Enyumba jage, guys, even at 15 million shillings, the house is going to build cannot be a kindergarten. It can't, obviously. Arthur, why is the land on a rush? He should relax and give himself extra 1 year. He can still save a little more to start in a proper way. Why is the land in a rush? Or to build? Chris, I don't know. Some of these things I had to explain. But me, the way I did my math, I'll do the math because most of you guys that rent here are renting houses of 500K. 500K to 1 million. Most of you guys. Of course, I know there are guys that rent houses of 15 million and above. I mean, what 2 million and above. So most of you guys are renting houses of 500,000. I've never rented a house of more than 250. Offices, yes. So a house of 500,000, if you're renting a house of 500K. Mokama Patrick, I've given up on Spiral. Enyumba egenda kutta because toli mu kuzimba mu magoba Christine. Atolabika n'ennyumba wazimba nnene nnyo. Oba wazimba kalina Christine. Amanyi kalina nayo tasinika mannyo. So guys, let's just do this math. This is how I did my math for a house and renting. If you're renting a house of 500K, in 12 months, you'll be paying 600,000 shillings in rent. Jesse Semogerere, he has a job. So the stable, proper source of income is there. I'm not so sure, but if the Spiral guys can sell bike batteries with you, which you can recharge at your home, but someone is saying charging at home is more expensive than swapping. So tuzeyo ku Bajaj, atenze sijja vuga Bajaj. So if you rent a house of 500K, every year you're giving your landlord 6 million. 6 million in a year is not 600K. No, 500,000 times 12 months is 6 million. 6 million in 10 years, that's 60 million. Now, when we think of 10 years, it seems like 10 years is far. 10 years is near. Well, guys, I moved here in Matuga in 2021. Now it's almost 2026. Kitegeza ngenda weza myaka 5 nga ndi mu nnyumba eno ye Matuga. Inze we namuvingira e Matuga nali sikyasobola kupangisa nnyumba ekawansi wa mitwalo 5 because I needed a 2-bedroom house that looked nice. Ontegeera kati essaawa eno, let's just say I rented, these are 5 years, yeah? Singa nfulumize million 3 Iwalandi Road somewhere. Nga I have nothing to show for the 30 million. Now, I don't know how other people think about it, but right now, the 30 million is in this house. Ontegeera, and I'm still here. I don't know if you guys get what I'm saying. And I live in a better way. And I have privacy. And I have parking space for like 10 cars. I don't have the 10 cars, but I have parking space for like 10 cars. After let's talk about building, rent to own or buying. Who does rent to own? Jesse Semogerere. I don't know of anyone that does rent to own. All the people I know, they sell. abarent own obuyumba bwabwe baba nabatunda za apartment, or you don't have a house. Okay, I don't know who this is. Arthur nze sisuka rent wa mitwala ana. I swear I bought a bike to pay rent. I will only mind the rent of my business. So guys, senga nali nasigala nga nsazeewo kanonye emitwalo ennyumba y'emitwalo 5 yali badde gayaza. Era gayaza nali badde nsukozesa amafuta ga mitwalo 2 buli lunaku. I don't know if you guys get what I'm saying. Anticat Chris Fitness, nze nazimba nyumba ya room 2 million nya. Of course that was 2016. Right now, maybe zizo room 2 azimba ne million 8. Ate zaite ziwedde nze, zaite ziwedde. I think we could consider buying these bigger scooters. Car of 8 million, house foundation 7 million. Auntie Charles, one thing I want you guys to always remember that a car of 8 million and a car of 5 million normally don't have a very big difference. You would have to be lucky to get a car of 8 million, like it's too different from a car of 5. 4 million of 2016 is the new 12 million now. It was incomplete. Atenga nange napota. Ida actually okumanya napota. One of the guys that was renting in the neighborhood, yantwarako. And that day, I think I was in town. I locked my key in the car. So I took a border back home to pick my spare key. So when I went to pick my spare key, as I was coming back, I found him going to town and he gave me a lift. And as we were going, and then we were conversing, so he thought I was a builder because I comported on my house. Let him start with the house. I also changed from buying a car to construction cause of unbearable landlady. Guys, mbadde nchababalira. Let's tugende ku rent wa starch or emitwalo 4. Emitwalo 4 in 10 years zibe million 8 nga toziraba. Yes, you live, someone will say you're living in a house, but enyumba y'emitwalo 4 nga ya 2 bedrooms, let's say if you have kids, oba obeera gayaza, bw'oba osaze obutabeera gayaza, oba obeerayo mu bwayise omwo mutali very secure. Okitegeera? For me, that does not make sense at all. If someone has like a 15 mil lying on the account, ontegedde. So just in those ontegedde lwaki nze I'm a pro car person. So guys, we are advising someone edakika zaffe zirimu kugwako ngenda basibula, but we are advising a brother here. He has 15 million shillings and a plot of land in Mukono, and he has a job in Kampala. He has 2 options: build a house in Mukono ave mu kupangisa, or buy a car and continue renting nearer the workplace. The other reason why nze nazimba was because I was thinking about where am I going to get enyumba gye nali mbeeramu yali ya bisenge 2 nga ina ne garage nga ina ne kitchen nga ina ne shed nga ina weka compound ak'ekimpati nga ina ne parking ya moroka 3 ku mitwalo 25. So I was thinking to myself, but it wasn't a house that was in very good shape, no. And I was asking myself, so where am I going to get another house at 250 with parking of 3 cars, with 2 bedrooms, a bathroom inside, and a garage and a kitchen at 250? Kati landlord bwe yekyangira wano with parking yoke Kampala ya mitwalo 6. So I said, kantetenkanye nkoleki mpe mu kipangisa. So there are a lot of things that people consider before they decide to actually build their houses and move into their houses. Now, waliwo abantu abamu nga income yammwe nnene nga rent takuyingiramu yadde. But personally, nze mbadde muyiribi kuva dda. This month you have money, next month you don't. Okitegeera, eh? Kati a person that is in that kind of work situation, waliwo ebintu by'otazannyiramu, tozannyira wa kusula, you secure where you sleep. Sente ez'amafuta zirwawo okubula. Kati nzo ndaba wano wendi, sente z'amafuta bwe zimbula, nvuga buvuzi nga mpita ku buli stage nga nnondawo abantu ne mbagamba kambatwaleko. ne nnyingira ekibuga bwe mba nkomawo ne ŋŋenda abantu bali stranded ne bampa ssente ne mbatwala ne mbadroping nga nange ne ntuuka ewange. That way I can buy fuel. Naye okuzimba ennyumba gy'opangisa tekiriimu ebyo nti nja kufunayo abantu bajje tusule ffenna renti ng'abuze tusasule. And I think some people learnt the hard way during the lockdown. So I'll give you my first option. Katugambe nguze pichipichi ne nzimbawo akayumba kange and I move in nga nvuga pichipichi buli lunaku. Now, motorcycles are very dangerous in Uganda. You can ride safely, you can ride carefully, and another motorcyclist hits you from out of nowhere and you are for dead. I know someone who he has a motorcycle and he's part of my marketing team. He drives my team to the field. And he was in Gayaza. Ngaavuga ali ku round ye Gayaza. Ngaavuga bulungi because I know him to be a good person. Avuga bulungi. Owa bodo mulana ave namukuba. Guy kati ayina wana ekyuma. Yes, his skull broke. Unfortunately, he did not die. He did not get blood in his brain, but they put a metal here. So he doesn't have a skull. He has a metal here. He still rides motorcycles because that's what he knows how to do. But he was riding carefully and another motorcycle hit him. You get? So motorcycles are dangerous. But if one could be careful for like 6 to 7 months and say, instead of buying a bad car, let me settle down, have a motorcycle for like 7 months, and after 7 months, sell this motorcycle, top up the money I would have saved, buy a car. Now you have a car and you have a house. So now you can now start putting money in a house. Enyumba no bagizimba mpola. Enyumba tebagireetako maanyi. Enyumba eringa nsi. Ensi bw'ogireetako amaanyi nga naye ekulaga amaanyi. Enyumba bw'ogiraga amaanyi nga naye ekulaga amaanyi. Spyro, no, I'd rather buy a car of 9 million. I'll tell Mark $2,000. Auntie Alex, kati autozimbye. Pichi rumbe. Kale, tuveko option yogula pichi. But consider the maintenance. 15 million buys an old car that demands constant repairs. A house never asks for spare parts. Build a small house. Don't buy a monthly mechanic's bill. As for me, yes, Momo. Arthur, picking up people, how does it work while to work from your place? But Momo, we did that. While I was at campus, I used to do that. And while I was at campus, when I had my first car, Northern Bypass wasn't so, like, it didn't have a lot of taxis then. So I'd drive, go to campus, go to class. After class, I'd go to where you get it, pick people, drive them to Busega, like do Busega, where you get it, Busega, like do like 3 times and then go home. And I would survive like that. And a lot of people, Momo, you would not know, but a lot of people that come from Kalaji to town, people that come from PG to town, people that come from Kachiri to town, people that come from Lugazi to town, and they drive, most of them actually do it. They even have people that are waiting for them, people that call them Tata Gundi or no Genda. They even have people on appointment. They have people they take to town and bring back home every day, and those people contribute on fuel. That is something that people do. It's very normal. Nayendo's, we need to consider his current situation. He might need to make better decisions depending on his situation. And Joseph, we are giving our views. We don't know where he is. And sometimes when someone is telling you stuff, they don't tell you the full story. But from the information I have, that's the information I have. Let's give him. He will pick out what is important to him. I buy a car first, enyumba njizimba nenjireka wall plate. Ku milioni 15 Antonio. Muzeyi. Chichi. Nyumba chijozimba noleka ku wall plate ku milioni 15 ngoguzeko ne muro. Ay, musajja gwe. Other people do carpooling. Yes, Mugisha. He could buy a bigger scooter around 2.5. It would take almost 1 year and a half without any mechanical issues after he buys a car. That's also something, guys. One thing I've realized about the motorcycles that are a little big, they are respected a little bit on the road, even by cars. Let him get a C200 and ask later. Twala, this Charles. Simanya wagula Benz, Charles. Did you buy the Benz finally? Oba ocharge ogera musio de what wokanga kangamu. So my second option, guys, my first option was buy a motorcycle, yeah, build like a small house, enter, then commute on my motorcycle. I would even take a passenger or two like a border. There is nothing better than building your own house. Even if it's 1-bedroom house, it gives you peace of mind. But you know, guys, a house is more than a financial decision. It's a, how do I want it? It's a peace of mind decision. Like, you cannot put a price to peace of mind. $7 million Ipsum and build a two. Antonio, driving the Ipsum from Mukono to Kampala every day is something else. From Mukono to Kampala and back every day. Uganda wange. The guy needs a small house, 2 rooms, bedroom, kitchen, and washroom. That's 20 million. 15 million is 90. So he can use 10 million. So this is my second option. My second option. And I would not be so picky. He has a job. Okay? So I would get 8 million. Build one like huge room, like 20 feet by 20 feet. Put like a bathroom in there. Okay? A toilet and bathroom in there. Okay? Have these guys the Banabakora biodigester, a million much tuned. Put a biodigester there. Move into that house. Nga nkoze chuyi chimu, temuli ceiling, nkoze sementi, urumune sementi muveeko, iwe chikokoto. Yingira. Nebo bana rujiru nozibake dirisa. Some of us, we have been through things. When I look at the first door that we had on our house, one way to beira. But why ingira this house, tetwa inako dirisa. But when I look at the first door, mwewa guy. Kati, when into the original try na kunyumba eno gitubera mga twakayingira eruli kodisa ne nyumba teyayikodisa. So what I did, you know how you build eno wagurwe enyumba je komeyo nga nge wali badde ceiling nga nabagamba bozimbe tafali awoleka wechituli demoleke wechituli demo, it will give us aeration. Then nengulobo obutimba mubutegedde obubateeka ku bumoli nembuteekayo to avoid mosquitoes. And that was like our window and also ventilation. Well, a guy in the manite nyumba tebagireta ko manyi. That feels like torture for such a house. Momo, there are people that grew up in those houses who know some people that are on this channel. That they grew up in these houses like that. That they are the ones that have finished their parents' houses. Kati Momo, some of us, we can't rent. I would rather be there than rent. Hey, I'd rather be there than rent. Kati ate Momo, I did not move into a house like that because I did not have money. I had some money, but I also needed fuel every day because I wasn't going to take a taxi. I hope you know where I'm going. But now, my brother, things changed. I worked on it in Pora, and right now, it's okay. Me, as long as I sleep, even if I slept, even we've even slept. Thank you, Patrick. Momo, people have been through things. People have been through things. So me, when I see someone saying, ate, nze sidda mukupangisa. Okujjako nga nfungo banga bampadde omulimu nga mu UN ne bangamba ennyumba MDU. Nga bagimpadde enjira nsulamu. Nga omukozi waffe omulungi toyinza kubeera ng'obeera wala ne wookolera ennyumba yiiyo. I would easily rent a car but not a house. Let's go to my second option because you know basibula. My second option, I'd use 8 million mbadde mbagamba, build one huge room, okay? Put a bathroom, okay? Put a bathroom and enter. Then use the remaining money to buy a car and work on it. That's why Moroka, I said, vehicle, he should build. He will get the extra motivation to look for. Ayinzo zifuna mu 6 months. Chris, mu 6 months, tetumanyi banga lya kunganyiriza milioni 15. But also sometimes it's easier to get a car when you already have a car. Ontegeera. So there are two options to owning a car. One option, we have 5 million. Sicho? We have 5 million. There are cars. There are cars that I know you can get at 7, 8, 10 million nga nungi nnyo. That is inywa nnyo nga si Ipsam, Mark 2 Musota, Gurandi tujereke zitowa. Chi Mark 2 Musota. Those ones will be 7, 8, 10. Naye nga basobola okukwatako emiliyoni mmeka? 5. Kati eyo miliyoni 7 bagenda giguza 9 kubanja eyebbiri bakuwa emyezi ng'ena oba 5. I would go there. So I've built my car house, I've entered. Now I go and hunt for a car. I pay what I have and they demand the balance. No one is doubting building a house. That's the prestige. I just grow the money. That money is enough to establish a drug shop and I start earning. My brother, drug shop, you know how to sell medicine. Hi, Isaac Katende, how are you? My guy. Point my second option. I go build my house, like a small room house with my 8 million. Okay. Then I use the other balance, which is about 7 million. I buy a car. Now, knowing what I know Zenga Arthur, I'd go buy a Chikumi of 5 million. It will not be perfect, but it will be in moving state. Ira Patrick. I'd buy myself a Chikumi. That's like, I want to tell you, that's like the cheapest car that I know that you can buy at 5 million and it will not disturb you. It is also very compact. Okay. If I can get a Starlet, yes, but Starlet is rare. So you'll get a Chikumi. It's a 1.5 liter car. It's very easy to maintain. Mukono every mechanic. Wasaruni yewamba. Wasaruni yewamba seka jan twatukanga ne message yangu WhatsApp taziddamu ne muvako. So guys, I'll buy a Chikumi of 5 million. Use 1 million to make it presentable on the road, okay? And then start hustling from my house to town, from town to house, house to town, and then sometimes take passengers if I must. If their neighbors kuchara abalinya taxi buli lunaku ngenda nenjogera nabo nemba gamba manche mwali koze wiki okozesa mmeka nzojja kuzimpanga nga wiki ewedde nze tugendenga fenna mu town tukomewo fenna. He's single kati nze nyina family, so I cannot do that now, but as a single person you could actually do that. Eye mukona abantu banje abajja mu kibuga every day. And how much will you need to buy that daily fuel, Arthur? And I'm also giving you kati already. If he buys a car now, he says he's going to be renting 12 to 14 kilometers from workplace. Ira 12 to 14 kilometers agenda bakozesa emitwalo 2 ngate tazimbye nyumba. Ontegeera. So mu Chikumi simanyi how far, but emukono awo. One of the things that you learn when you build far, you learn the shortcuts. You learn all the maram roads. Okay? You learn all the maram roads. Now, bw'omala okuyiga maram roads, emukono mu Chikumi tajja kusukka mitwalo 3. Naye wana abadde agenda kukozesa emitwalo 2 ate nga apangisa. The second thing I would do, I would get to know the nearest garage. Nze wendi wano. Garage biri ezindi okumpi z'abamakanika abamanyi bye bakola mu Matuga nzimanyi. Era nkuba essimu nyina makanika wa yingini, nyina wa wiring. I have those 2 people. Ere moroka teina wenfiirako nensigala ku kkubo mbate ninde makanika ave Kampala tekibangawo. Okitegeera tekibangawo. And then living in Mukono and buying an old car, I would attend one of the workshops that Arthur is going to organize. Is okuyigiriza the basics in maintaining your car. Oyige mukoka wiring akatonotono, because abantu abamu moroka zibali mara okuba tebamanyi bintu biri simple. Makanika nali okabbagwe. So Patrick okitegedde aga amafuta teetagana na kubanga agagula buli lunaku aina kera kubala nayigo okutwala ka abantu. If he has a family already, house should be a priority no matter how small. Ne wabata ina family nze nazimba sinawasa nazimba sina family era nembeera mu nyumba yange for a full year sinawasa okitegeera. I lived in my house for a full year nga sinawasa nenkamaliriza akayumba kange nendyoka mpasa okitegeera. And guys, when we talk about fuel, we talk about fuel like the people that don't have cars don't spend money. Some people that don't have cars spend more money than us who have cars. Yes. Some people that don't have cars, it's just that they don't have the down payment for the car. Na ye Mukono, jam will make you dislike there. Yet it's not, Mukono is not far. Everywhere, you see Sekaja, everywhere there is jam. Nafe matugatuina jam. Na yo yiga shortcuts weziri wonna. No kuba ne map, no manya kakati buno obudde. Tuyita wali. No manya ne jamu watandikira, nze kati manyi jamu watandikira tuba tujja ne mama bani mu muruka nga mama bani. Tunula yo, nakola ati. Tugende tetugenda agavaako. Tumanyi wetuviirako wa mirundi ngena, waliwo ewasooka. Tumanyi ne wetuviirako ku Gayaza Road, waliwo ewasooka ewokubiri ewokusatu. Ewokunana erabe. Tuli wa mirundi esatu. Wa mirundi ena ku Bombo Road. Kati zene Gayaza Road, bwenda Bombo Road nga yatabuse nnyo Gayaza Road ayangwa nenvaako mangu nenkuba akataka. Kati era ne bwemba nate otuuke matugajamu n'asalako era nyina ebitundu bya mirundi ng'esatu byenviirako. Okitegeera manyi n'okuyita manyi ne woovaako n'osala jamu wa mita 5. How elaborate more on that? On what, Patrick? Patrick, Council Patrick, Arthur, when you're organizing a workshop for basic mechanics, we are working on that. I'm partnering with a certain. I want to partner, so we are in talks with a certain service station, not a petrol station, but a service station. It's some of you guys that are bought cars have recommended you go there. So I'm trying to work out a partnership with them where we do it from their place of work, and they also offer you guys a 10-point free check where you can take your car for check. They put it kurunya, nebajiwanika, nebajikebera. Some of you guys that have to do service before the festive season, mkole service, so they benefit a lot out of that. If it doesn't work out, I'll find another way. But I'm organizing it before Christmas. After Mukono is worse. They don't have shortcuts. Every place has shortcuts. Ne baba naberange kasanga tigajjama hizo tukwata okuva ku kya Bobby. Katatengo era okuva ku kya Bobby okutuuka ewange teri shortcut ndala. Oba saajiiga. Nabika saajiiga. Kalinga jamu akwate ne mukola line nyamoti. The fact that you are saying that people without cars are spending more than those without cars. Let me do the math. Let me do the math. Nze wano wembeera. Supposed to open with my face, it has refused. Nze wano wembeera. There is a time when my namukade was on spraying. Nabaji tuto jifuwa. So I wanted to go to town. I would spend 5K on a border. That's if you don't go with Salongo. Because if you don't have a car and you don't have to be at work very early in the morning, then when you go to work early in the morning, where are you going to be? Fabe moroka tu, we are lucky. In my parking lot kumulimu, there are people that actually come and sit. No, go to Naria, that thingy shopping center in Naria. You can find like 20 cars nga abantu batude mu moroka bali ku laptop we bakolera. Ngi wakaba vude because bwaba ina abana ino kuvi wakaba agenti yagenze kukola. That's an advantage that cars have. So I'll use a border 5K to the road. Then I would use 5K to town. That's 10K. Yeah. Now in the evening, Salongo bwa kule katengo olumu abajjudde nomvira nzijudde. So that's 10K. That would make you another 10K in the evening. If you find a border that is, if you don't find, gata mwenkumi endala nga 3 because borders ekiro ziseera. So that would make it 13,000. What is this? So I'd spend 23,000. At that time, I wasn't going to Buziga. So I would also be spending 25,000 in my car. But that 25,000, nga ntwalako abaana bange ku ssomero, transport simubala atwala abaana ku ssomero. Nintwala mukyala wange wakolera, nintwala kati ezo sizibaze. Nze mbaze bazi nti nvuze ne ngenda. Kati kitegeeza I've done school van as well on my 25. Kati gwe omuntu atalina muluka nga alina abaana nga Arthur, kati awugattako school van. Ogatteko n'ezitambuza omukazi genda gy'akolera. Kati bwe mbanga mwena mutambuza katugambe emitwalo ebiri because buli muntu ekifo kisasula. Ye mitwalo ena nze nakozesanga 2.5. So ekyo seetaaga kukidda mmwe mubeera babiri okujja ng'oli bwomu nene bw'obeera bwomu. Kati when there is that advantage of sitting in the car when you have nowhere to go. Let him put a foundation for a house he wants instead as in leko room emu to be habitable state. That might cost him like 9 million. Balance agule Corolla 190. Ajja kusigaza mwe foundation yokedia mi foundation y'ennyumba y'ebisenge ebisatu eyimiridde eri million 8. Kati room abatagisobola. Foundation amanye weenayita amanye weenayita akwate ku foundation ya room emu esinga obunene agisitule agizimbe agiyingire. It's cheaper with the car in all ways. Mark you guys, people that have cars are safer. And it's banange okulinya taxi chimarako emirembe. Nze there is a time ndyoke ngule eggaali emmotoka yange yali kulangi. So I go to town. So after in the morning I went with Salongo. Salongo is the taxi guy that lives in the estate. He literally takes everyone in the estate. So I think it's also good to call a neighbor. The moment you get into the neighborhood, you ask mutgenda mutya mu town. So in the morning I went with Salongo. I did what I had to do. I said njakuddayo ne Salongo olweggulo. Sawa emwe weda nga ngenda mu paaka. Salongo ngamba gojja kunida ku stage ye Matugga. Nayimirira ku paaka paka sawa 3:30. Kati ne mulengera nga ayingira mu paaka na parking and tugenda ntula fenna nga babeere Matugga. Baatwalako. Kati bannanga okulinnya taxi. N'atutwalako, and he's a very good man, everyone likes him. N'atuvuga. Kati bw'atuuka e Matugga mu town, first tubeera ku main road. Tuyingirako munda. Bw'atuuka e Matugga mu town n'aba ku petrol station w'ayimira. Later on I learned ndi ayinawo ka baby ke. Kati nga tannadda waka. Atuukawo ka baby ke n'anyumyamuko nako. Kati anyumyamuko ne ka baby ke. Mmwe ababeera mu estate mutudde. In the beginning when I thought about it. So I used Salongo for a couple of days. Nga moroka eri kulangi. Kwe moroka eri kulangi for 2 weeks. Munaye nga mutuula. Kati waba toli munyumyanga Arthur. Guys munda banga ine ebigambo. Newe mbeera mbantu besimanyi. Oyinza n'okulowooza simanyi kwogera. Nga mutuulawo ne mubeera w'essimu neggwako omuliro. That's why I have a lot of power banks, by the way. I need to go buy other power banks. Wakati zino zikadde zikoze emyaka oba ebiri. So, nga mutuulawo for like 20-25 minutes nga mulinda. Bw'amala okunyumya najja n'asimbula n'abatwala. Kati ate nze mu estate ndoza nze mbeera mu kibuga ky'estate. Kati asooka n'adropping abo kuba naye abeera mu kibuga ky'estate. N'adropping ab'omu byalo eyo mu estate eyo bonna. N'atuuka ewange nga tusigaddemu nga ssaawa nga 4:5 oba 6 eyo. Kati n'ovaamu taxi ewunya ebifuta. But by the way, I'm too grateful for Salongo for always offering that. Chimanyi n'abantu bo mu estate bonna bali. Era bwe mbeera nga muli mu estate nga mulina gayi wamu wa taxi abatambuza mwebaze. So he made it quite bearable. So munange, so that one day I waited for Salongo nebimenya nempulira bubi. The next day Salongo yandika. Yani nya boda yange baba nzija kona kasanvu ko okuntwala ku kkubo nininya taxi na nenfuna ya 3 ninonye gari change a mountain bike. I bought a mountain bike. But let me tell you what, the next day I drove the mountain bike. It is hard to ride the mountain bike. I rode it to town. of course nga bwentuka ku busozi obwo bukawanda wawa nga bakagali kanganka kulula naye nga ndaba abayayi bavuga maanyi gakifu baziyisa ku busozi batinge nibe n'abantu bali emmereki. So in the evening coming back a harrier yankuba side mirror one. I did not fall, but I think that was a wake up call. Egali eriwa yo, egali eriwa simanyi na gali jeri harrier yampita kuno anti jukira wokutoti egali harrier yankuba side mirror one. I almost put the bicycle on a taxi, ninye taxi, but somehow najivuga nenkoma wewaka, and that's then I tried to use it for exercise. I realized bicycles bagamba mbobokola exercise obatokola botuka mukaserengeto ngoyiringita botuka kasozi bobanga tosa ngovaako ngojikula ninga kanziruke kati gali nomuka gwagwa musimanyi na So guys, that foldable seat mu taxi kayuze empale yang ne motoka ya 3 million ebera mvu. Guys, we are not going to buy a car of 3 million. We will buy a car of 5 million, which will be a chikumi. Okay, chikumi jensingo kwa advising ye moroka jojo funa mwezo sente nga nyanga buli makanika agisobola ate nga nawe eventually obiyiga bikola bino ebintu byembaganze bye nalikoze nze sidda kubigere ati sinjavuga chikumi sidda kubigere nze era embeera bwe nkwata mujja kundaba ku downgrading motoka naye sidda kubigere sidda kubigere. With the car, even planning how to move is easy. Arthur, for any man to build a strong financial base, you need a house, however small it is. So I would advise him to think of a house and a sustainable business. Then a car. He has a job. Guys, I want us to understand that there are some people that were not meant for business. Business is hard. My guy. Business needs you to innovate. It needs you to calculate. It needs you to pay people. It needs you to be strong. Business is hard. So not everyone is built for business. Some people, I know people that are happily employed. Nga abera employed up to 60. That's why it's easy. Buying the guy starting mwabata nazara muzari. Oleme kutuka retirement age ngo chawerira. Okitegeera eh? And I know there are people that believe that omwana omweda ko kyosobodde n'omulekaawo, but it's important abaana bono bawera ne bayita mu university. Botuka retirement age naddala bali employed. Amanyi tokyagalina teri ayinza kuwa ku jambo jangu tutenganye ffenna wano. Okitegeera kiba kirungi nti income yo ne bweneesala naye nga abaana bamaze okusoma, it would be okay. Weetaaga sente za kulya n'amafuta kugenda kulaba ku bakyaliibo. Okitegeera banaye abatanazaala nga mukyali mu yo 20s muzaale nino agamba okuwera nga nyina emyaka 5 mu 3 awo bwe baba basome course za bulijjo. Bate basome course za bulijjo emyaka 5 mu 5 awo nange nja kubambikoye. Obata namalo nga ngamba mukulu gwekwata ku mutowo. I rode a bicycle for some good years, but now I can't even ride it from Nansana to Kampala. And it's dangerous. Nze senga tichali ntigundi. Of course it was hard. Ne senga gundi omanye byekwaso tebibula bwoboko ye ekintu. Yali nzibu yakuvuga ate side mirror nenkuba side mirror yakawundo nenkuba. Kati nga mutofu buli ekyekwase ekingano vuga gali nkola ki nchina. So anyway, one advantage guys watching say I am a pro house person. Omusajja buli wozimba otandika okulooza long term. It's very hard to think long term ng'opangisa. Okujja ng'ofuna sente nyingi. Naye bw'obanga sente zo ntono nganze zisikola sente nyingi. Bw'obanga sente zo ntono, it's very hard for you to think long term. Kizibu nnyo. So me, I would advise you, brother, I know you have watched the entire broadcast. I would advise you, kwatako sente ezimu, zimbako ka room nebwe kabakamu, kayingire. Kwatako sente sigadde for your safety and convenience. Ogulekeka akamoto kanga ka 10. Nze 10 njigula. I think I should for experimentation show you a 10 I would buy, njigule milioni 4 oba 5, njikole nga mulaba mu mpola mpola. Kubaka techa sanity ekyo kyaggwe project weeri awo. Nabaga mumalize ne mpa milioni 15 nengenda nengula project kendala. Bwe mbate musobola ekyo nakyo mukideke sijja bakaka muli ba sente za mwanange ndi wa moroka yange. So anyway, I would advise him aguzimbe kakayumba bamala aguleka akamoka akali simple nga 10 ajja kama nejinga. Ate tuleke kweyisa kigagga. Kaninze nyina family nenze bwe nali sina family. nga nyimira kukubo ne ntwala abasaabaze. I am telling you, nga nyimira kukubo ne ntwala abasaabaze. Just now I'm no longer fit. I used to, because I used long journeys, but now I'm used to cars and mostly motorbikes. By the way, nasanga ko omusajja naga yavugako eggaali okuva ene Matugga. He's one of my old neighbors here. Namuwako ne ku lift room. Naga yavugako eggaali n'ava e Matugga paka Masaka. Anti nga weba tubibabika ebiseera ebyo. Okubika olina kugenda bw'otyo. Project 12 million, it's ready. Milioni 12 bwabe wagipangisa emyezi 3 ampe emitwalo 10 buli lunaku asooka agivugemu bwagikomera ungi baguze ku 12 mwe 15 mba era sijjeyo sente zange naye nkolera abantu njagala muve ku bigere mwe bagayi milioni 15 tolina kugenda kujja moroka yimidde nga project ka teri ekyo nkibagamba kati nno kamba nyumize project ka era mwasubidde okugenda e Masaka project ka ye moroka najevugako speed 140 gateri mu yadda akakola kati teri moroka ya milioni 15 ngojeko Mark X ne Mark 2 grand ne Crown teri moroka ya milioni 15 jogenda gula ngojivuga 15 nga teina yadda akanyenya teri yo Rama build a house, but if you're surviving in Kampala, I would advise everyone to buy a car. It will give you a bit of headache. Some of you guys are not patient with cars. It will give you a bit of headache, but guys, motorcycles are dangerous in Uganda. Guys, nze nange ntwalako ebitereke by'abantu nga sina fuel. Nentekako ne 7k in that car. Yaidabo cabin UAB. Thank you, Jovan. Arthur's theory is also good. Eyo theory ekolera ddala naddala gweka guys kasito manye nnaku yo. Nze nga Arthur manye nnaku yange. I'm telling you. Nze nnaku yange njimanyi. Kyovula nabagambe ennyumba bagizimba ku magoba togireetako maanyi. Sulako kyoso. Mwe mbagambe bwe nayingira ennyumba y'e Matugga. Olujja olwasooka ku nnyumba yange katuli kayumba ka gate, kayumba ka askari. Wadde askari simulina. Ku kayumba ka askari. Naye ndutunula konti ne ngamba guys, kamba sibule abantu ba broadcast balina nnaku mwana. Nange wenda ba Jovan. Nange wenda nemwe bagayi. Nsimanyi na kumanya. Naye muganda wange zimba kaka yumba gula kaka motoka. Nza akamotoka nja kuyambako tukafune. Ne bwono ogamba Arthur tukafuna akamotoka osooka obeere nako wiiki. Nze nyina abavuga emmoroka ezo. Nganjimu anagivuga okumala wiiki. Buli kirwadde ne tukimalamu. Muto wange sekatawa yatandiko yayiga wiring. Kati akola wiring ewaddala. Ayiga avuga akola wiring ewaddala. Mwabagenda ogula emmoroka eza layisi. Tugigula ffenna nenji wa sekatawa ne mugamba sekatawa emmoroka eyo saagalamu yadde eki. Kubeze emmoroka zifa wiring. Tezifa birala. Ingi ne bwebe tokotanga generator ebannamu. Njimuwa wali sekatani mga afuge moroka eyo kumala weekend. Nga bwe tugikola. Tujijembuli kalwadde, tujijembuli ka short circuit. I'm telling you there are some things zibye malakati. Kuba kati wa wiring ali mu nyumba. Abantu ba broadcast ba planned kids, they don't know. 1.5 liter engine Raum, it costs how much? Raum, which Raum, new model. Milioni nga 2 n'emitwalo nga 2 kitundu awo. How much should a person earn before they drive? Kasozi. Guys, nze nagule moroka nga ndi student. Kale, of course, nali planned student. Nze na inewerera ne makerere. But still, I had no nze nechinana nali sichikola. But I've told you how people survive with cars. Kasozi. Kati nechinana gwokyogera. Waliwo abantu Kasozi mu kibuga nga tebamanyi sente ze bakola mwezi. That's a story of another day. But there are people in town nga tamanyi na sente za akola mwezi. Naye nga abeerawo. I want to buy a car and you be with it for a while as we work on it if possible. Me, I have no problem. Atola boli yagula emmoroka ye. Yangambi yagigulwa mwaka mulamba naye alayika alimba. Kuba ekirwadde ekimu kye yaripotinze. Si kirwadde. Omuntu amaze emmoroka n'omwaka ekyo si kirwadde. Kye yaripotinze kumanze saakirabye na mukyanku yakinkozeko omulundi gumu and it's not trouble. Ekirwadde kiri kimu kye yaripotinze kireka bamakanika be balemereddwa kikola. Kingendo okukola. Guys, kamba sibule. Thank you very much for choosing to be with me this evening. We have done 1.5 hours. John's information by Benji, Yusuf Minaj, Noah Hanuman, Ricky Chikao, Richard Lwanga, Chivyo Alex, Cosmas Agaba, Joseph Bali Kudembe, Charles Sevaduka, Nakate Christine, Morris Atoms, Richard Aki, Jones Prosper, Atuijuka Hillary, Chris Fitness Duburwa, K. Jovan, Ricky Chikawa, Majwala, Julius, Chris Fitness Duburwa, John Prospects, Mpanga Godfrey, Waha Norman Nkumaze, Sereko Starch, Aijuka Blair, Morad K. Momo, thank you very much. Gabirano Eric, Angelo, Katumwe Sige, Crispus, Mukama Patrick, Morad K. Momo, VIP, Wafula Shak, I think. What is happening? Chiche Nkoze. Let me undo. Mugisha John, Edwina Kagwa, Ivan Namanda, of course, President Antonio, Lifelink VIP, Richard Damolida, Sally James, Katamba Isaac Katende, Council Patrick Asiku, J. Sekaja, Muyombia Mark, Chairman Zach, Rama Charity Organization, Kasozi Isma, Nabali Mokamori, I don't take it for granted. I don't know why Richard Wanga, sorry Bambi. I don't know why I did that. I've undone it Naichiganyo unhidden, yes. Me entering my house is a big story. I never had a roof. Thank you, Isaac. Abantu ambana muri bapulandi chidi. Naye some of these stories mwetaga abantu abamwe bakyaganye wadde you refuse to answer my ex suspension question. Banange saga na chairman Zach. I think I did. Just sign up figures. I can get the figures for you and tell you tomorrow. Let me get the figures, the actual figures. Nga tujiwa suspension wansi yonna kale. Guys, thank you very much for choosing to be here. Nabali Mukamori. In our voting, the question was, what would you use 15 million for if you already had a plot in Mukono? 49% of you guys said you would buy a car and be nearer work. 26% said you would build a house and stop renting. And then 26% said you would grow the money for another year. Thank you very much for the gentleman that asked me that question on WhatsApp. I hope you have been here. And I hope the discussion has been useful. My final answer here, which I should have given you on WhatsApp, but I decided not to because you did not pay for consultation, is that I will do both. I would do both. I would build a house and buy a car. Millions and meka, tano. Knowing what I know now, nze sidda ku boda, sidda mu taxi. Guys, mukama abampeera omukisa. I'll see you tomorrow morning. Ciao.